my name is Christian. I'm a composer and audio implementer for video games. And in this video series, I'm going to walk you through how I designed and implemented the music for Runa and the Chaikurú Legacy. Previously, we analyzed the musical structure of the camp region. In this video, I'll talk about the next areas of the game. When entering the cave, the melody continues, but the accompaniment shifts subtly and the harmony moves toward E minor. Without going into detail, I'd like to mention that it's essential for the melody notes to remain compatible with both harmonic progressions in order for this technique to work effectively. This section introduces a new melody, meant to bring freshness to the listener and expand the musical structure. Although it doesn't reuse any thematic material presented earlier, it might still sound familiar. Can you guess which song this Easter egg pays homage to? Moving forward, we hear Runa's theme once again, this time with a new orchestration and a calmer, almost mystical mood. The purpose of this repetition, as I mentioned in previous episodes, is to establish a clear musical idea in the listener's ear. Since there isn't much more to add about the theme itself, this feels like a good moment to shift the focus toward implementation. Runa's music is mixed in real time during gameplay using Voice, an audio middleware that enables the creation of adaptive systems. In this section, 4 elements play simultaneously: the bass, a harmonic layer, the accordion, and the percussion. It's important to note that the music adapts dynamically as we move in and out of the cave. Right now, we're only hearing the inside version, but each of these 3 layers has 2 possible variations that switch seamlessly depending on the player's location. Having the layers separated provides much greater control over how the music transitions from one area to another. Here's an example of how the melody changes as we move in and out of the cave. While we're inside, the melody sounds more muted and has delays, whereas when we exit, it becomes slightly louder and feels brighter. Also, you can notice a denser rhythmic texture in the percussion and the bass. On top of that, the harmony shifts to G major. Subtle as they may be, these details make the player feel that the music is alive and truly following their actions. This music segment introduces a new melody. Does it sound familiar to you? Please, let me know if it rings a bell. The idea behind these Easter eggs is that, since Runa could be considered a collectathon full of references, like the Naughty Canine Mask or the 3-star Dragon Cube, the music also joins in on the fun, weaving in subtle hints of popular songs. After obtaining the Bola weapon, the music shifts into the next section, once again settling in E minor but introducing new themes with a slightly more combative character. The idea behind this implementation is to support the narrative and expand the musical structures as the game progresses. This musical section is made up of 3 8-bar phrases that loop continuously until we reach the waterfall. Since the journey is relatively short, I didn't find it necessary to create a longer loop for this part of the gameplay. Players typically reach this point after about 3 minutes, so you might be thinking that it's a lot of music for such a short time, especially since some players might not hear all of it. But since all the pieces are modular and can be combined with each other, I was able to recycle them into other musical structures thanks to Wise. Anyway, let's move on to the next region, the Cascade. The bridge, or transition segment that connects these 2 sections, is programmed to trigger every 4 bars during the Boleadoras section. This technique keeps the music in sync with the visuals while allowing the melodic phrases of the original track to finish naturally. It's important to note that, in this example, the vertical remixing combat layer mentioned in previous videos has not been included, and at this point, the system prioritizes the narrative progression over the regional map transitions, so if we return to the cave, the music will remain unchanged. The cascade section holds on a single G major chord with no harmonic changes. From a melodic perspective, I mainly worked with the pentatonic scale in this segment, along with some ornamental notes. Sustaining a piece of music without chord changes can be challenging, so burying the instrument that carries the melody and adjusting the accompaniment are useful techniques to keep the listener engaged. Altering the scale was another useful resource. In this case, the Mixolydian mode led me to explore some typical blues licks. I think that the blend of the Hammond accompaniment, characteristic of reggae, with bass lines that mix salsa rhythms and occasional movements reminiscent of milonga, along with percussion inspired by Cuban sun, creates a particularly rich mixture. The goal of combining these elements is to build a bridge between different musical genres. While experimenting with this idea, I couldn't help but think of Os Mutantes, the iconic Brazilian psychedelic rock band from the late 60s. Returning to the implementation, several segments in the Waterfall region feature melodies that play randomly. In this case, the question and answer are each randomized from 3 options and can be combined with each other, resulting in a total of 9 possible variations. It's important to note that in this section, not only do the melodies play randomly, but the structure of the musical loop is also randomized. In this video, for example, we hear the sequence 1, 3, 2. Another interesting point is that the idea of repeating a single chord creates subtle tension from monotony, which finally resolves when we reach the city ruins. This is not only a nod to the classic flagpole fanfare from Super Mario Bros., but it also foreshadows a future modal interchange that I'll dive deeper into later. But right now, what matters is that upon reaching the city, the music begins to drift away from G major and its relative minor, entering a new harmonic sequence that blends the major and minor modes of G. The result is a feeling of mystery and magic, a sense that we've left our comfort zone. The adventure has truly begun. In the next video, I'll dive deeper into modular composition techniques and explore how certain themes evolve alongside the game's narrative progression. So, stay tuned if you're interested, and thanks for watching.